I can usually tell in the first few minutes of an interview that if you have prepared your answer from the internet. And the scary part, you think these videos are helping you prepare for the interview. The more you memorize this answer, the more you will sound like every other candidate. So I'm going to tell you, forget what to say. Instead, I'm going to tell you what to prepare for. I have been in TA role for many years. I have been hearing this question, looking for growth, better opportunity, I'm fit for this role, I'm this. So same answers repeatedly, and I don't even blame you because internet is filled with such answers. If the HR says X, you say Y. If they ask you what is the expected CTC, use this exact line. And 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 in interview you want to stand out, right? Stand out from the rest of the candidates. How? By using the same lines. Okay, so every candidate who appears for the interview has a different story. It cannot be a same story, right? It cannot be the same story like the one candidate who had appeared before. Like, so interview doesn't know that you have googled your answers. They just know that every candidate is different, everyone has their own story, and they want them to present their story. Simple example, there are four people, okay, and someone is asked, and the HR says, why are you leaving your previous organization? So four people cannot have the same answer. One might be on a career break, one would have been laid off, one would have not got increment from past few years, or one is genuinely looking out for some better opportunity. Now this four people cannot have the same answer, right? Because like I said, every story is different, every perspective is different, and I don't understand how these people cut, copy, paste whatever is said on the internet and tell the same story, same and tell the same lines. Better opportunity, better opportunity. Are they come out of this better opportunity? Okay. So the question is same, okay, for four people, but the context is different. This is where your preparation should change. Okay, if the HR say you want to leave your current organization, you don't have to memorize anything. You just have to tell your story, okay, in a professional way, and see how you want to communicate it, because there is going to be a follow-up question after that. And okay, you don't want to sit there and memorize, अरे अच्छा follow up question है तो ये बोला था तो ये क्या. No, because if there is a follow up question, you know what to say and what not to say, in case if it is your story. If it is a borrowed story from the internet, you will not be able to answer. And I have seen so many times when the candidate says better opportunity, I ask them, what do you mean by better opportunity? And then there is a silence. So what I'm trying to say is that you need to speak and say your story in a professional way. Now, if it, so suppose if you had a problem with your manager, you don't have to tell everything to this person who's taking your interview. There is a way to communicate it, professional way. जितना बोलना है उतना ही बोलना है. Interview intelligence use करना है तब, ठीक है? And that is how you have to answer your interview questions. And as an interviewer myself, like, I always remember those candidates who take time to think. When I ask them something, they don't answer immediately. They are not in rush. They pause, they think. And you should be comfortable with that pause. Structure your thoughts, take time. Nobody's asking you to answer immediately. That is when I know that you are genuinely thinking, and you're trying to structure your thoughts. And these are the candidates I always remember, and I want to talk more to them too, because then the conversation becomes very authentic. Okay, and that is why I'm trying to tell you is that don't mug up your answers from the internet. I'm not saying they are right, wrong. I don't know about it, but what I'm trying to tell you is that every question what they ask, we hire you again. I don't like this question, but अच्छा ने भी पूछते हैं, तो I'm just telling you, why do you think we should hire you? What are the recent challenges that you have taken? All these questions, they have a framework. You need to understand why they are asking, what part of story is relevant, how to answer. And this is exactly what I am going to decode in my series, which I'm going to cover in my next coming videos. So if you are someone who always googles interview question and answer, stop it, because one follow-up question is going to ruin your interview. I want you to be confident enough to speak your own story with the framework, with the framework that I share, and that is going to help you. अगर मेरा framework use नहीं करना भी, तो it's okay. You can just use any other framework which will help you. But what I would want you is that please use your story. Please be confident in who you are, instead of just mugging up answers from the internet. And if there is any one question which you think that throws you off, tell me that questions in the comment box. We'll try to decode it and understand what does that interview is trying to decode from that question, trying to understand from that question. If you want to give interviews confidently without memorizing the answers, subscribe to my channel, because that's what we are going to do in our next coming series. Looking forward to read all your suggestions and comments. See you soon. Bye bye.